Hello everyone and a warm welcome to the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament of YCS Birmingham 2025, and I'm here joined by the one and only, the lovely Leonard König and myself, Sebastian Lemke. We will guide you through round number 1 of this beautiful tournament, which had 8 rounds of Swiss in total and then leading into a top cut of top 8 afterwards. Leo, are you excited?
I'm absolutely excited, and now after your intro, I'm also awake. This is great. We can see a start with a Lightsworn deck immediately on the left side. Judgment Dragon, beautiful secret rare. Light of Destruction being banished by, I assume, not the original Gold Sarcophagus, because that was a prize card.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it's secret rare, it looks like, so that would not work.
No, that could be. It was ultra rare, right?
Yeah, it was ultra rare.
Phenomenal. All right. Okay, set one pass. Which Lightsworn would you like to set, Sebastian?
Raiko, the Lightsworn Hunter. Honestly, that's like probably at this point the most popular Lightsworn card there is, isn't it? Because like it is played in so many different decks, not only Lightsworn, but in Lightsworn specifically, I think it could be... Oh, what's cooking over here, though? We see some fairy cards. Hackatrice searching Valhalla there. That's nice.
Valhalla, the Hall of the Fallen?
Might be. Yeah, probably. And look
sense,
at that.
That's
that's
wall, right?
That's a perfect opening. Look at that.
Is it? There's a Raiko.
Oh, there is a Raiko. You're right. I didn't even think about it.
I mean, the thing is, your opponent banished a Judgment Dragon with a Gold Sarcophagus, and now we Herald of the Orange Lighted, discarding Dark Lord Zerato. The Master Chef on the right side has cooked here.
Yes, that's huge.
Oh,
because now the Christia, first of all, is on the field. And I mean, you usually have to invest so much setup to get to the Christia, because you would have to have 4 fairies in the graveyard to special summon it out. But now with the Valhalla, you can just easily bring it out like that. That's so good.
There's another fun thing going on there, because Christia, upon destruction, will put itself on top of the deck.
Oh, it's another one, though.
Yeah, he just explained the loop. He just explained the loop. He said, yeah, it goes on top of the deck. I still have Valhalla on the field. You can do nothing about this.
I mean, wait, though. We will get a turn without the Christia being around, though.
Yeah, one. And this is 2010, Sebastian.
Yeah, who knows, though? I mean, there's a couple of Lightsworn monsters now in the graveyard. To be specific, it's both Raikos. But this deck can be exploded. Oh, and Illumina. I mean, just charge of a Light Brigade and then things can happen. Oh, my, though. That is a heavy storm. That is a heavy storm.
Wow, that was huge. Absolutely huge. And now we have, like, all the freedom in the world. We've taken so many resources. The Herald of the Orange Light is also not the greatest card in terms of value. I'm gonna be very honest with you here. I think we just now, as we milled the Lumina, but do you really want to use Lumina on a Raiko? I don't know if you do, but I think we have a Celestia in hand maybe, so that could mean we discard it. Okay.
Do you discard it for Monster Reincarnation? It's lovely to see both Ultimate Rare, Celestia, and Monster Reincarnation, and we put back the Lumina into our hand.
I just thought we summon Lumina, and then we keep it on the field because we have Necro Gardener in the graveyard, and then next turn we tribute summon Celestia for a big push.
Could be, but we discard Mizuki, and now the news is also onto their opponent, because this is not only any kind of regular Lightsworn deck, but this is Zombie Lightsworn indeed.
Yeah, but now we have a Raikou for a discard, and the Raikou would be great tribute fodder if we still had the Christia, Celestia.
That is fair, yeah. I agree.
But we get to mill 3 cards in the end phase, and as you are a good Lightsworn player, you're going to mill at least 1 wolf.
Oh, that's a Chaos Sorcerer, and that's a Hamster. That's not really a Lightsworn card.
That's a classic whiff. I mean, Hamster kind of becomes a Lightsworn card upon attack.
Yeah, it transforms itself into one. I mean, there's already so many Raikos out of the deck, though, so at this point...
All of them.
Barely anything.
The problem is we don't have the setup anymore, so Christia is... Another Valhalla.
Look at that. We just have all the Valhallas in the world. And that honestly is quite the Valhalla to the opponent, but they have Honest.
Yeah, be honest.
To be honest with all of you, that's another 1,000 points of damage to the Chaos Fairy player instead.
Imagine we still had Celestia. We could tribute off the Raiko. we could destroy the Valhalla then. And we could probably just immediately summon Judgment Dragon. So, I really disagree with discarding the Celestia on an open board state then when you can start developing Lightsworns. I think that's a...
You're just not getting over it, right?
Yeah, it might have cost them the game. Oh, and now we put Raikou into attack position, which makes a lot of sense because Mirror Force was heavy stormed.
Indeed it was. Oh, we're thinking about it, but no, that's fine. That's not too much damage.
Would have loved a Dimensional Prison here.
On the Raikou, huh?
Yeah, it's just value town. Malicious Mild, Wolf Mild, and
Okay.
Welcome to Birmingham.
That is how you're doing it. Okay, we're back with Christia one more time. I mean, to be fair, this game plan of our Chaos Fairy player is really working out. Like, because that is what the deck is designed to do. Just summon Christia so often and so consistently. And it's getting Matter of Honest again. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
that is not real.
One of those. That's another one of those. We go down to 3,800 life points, meaning that this is not even game on the field. So... we would have to commit into a Judgment Dragon, and I think Raikou, Lila, Wolf, and Celestia in the graveyard should be 4. But we can summon Malicious. No, we are scooping on the right side because this is just more than enough damage. What an honest show of the deck, right? This was this card just he just set all the outs to a Christia. Like usually you don't beat Christia decks if they just have this perfect recursion all the time.
That is true. You gotta say that was. I mean. I remember back in the day in 2010, that Lightsworn zombie deck is such a fun deck, right? Because you already have all the fun of the Lightsworn deck, which quite honestly, I mean, we all know the feeling, just sending random cards from the top of our deck to the graveyard. Honestly, it's always like a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes you're going to get the best of it and you're going to be super happy, and then sometimes you're just sending 4 cards with a Celestia and nothing seems to be there that is working for you. And just like the diversity of that. And then you also add in the zombie cards, meaning now you have even more cards that you want to send to the graveyard. So I always really, really like the idea of the deck.
Yeah, you have more fun now, but the thing is that the good mill hits for the Lightsworns, so Plague Spreader, you play basically every Lightsworn variant at this point, I think, because it's just so good. The only other card that you want to mill is Mizuki. And milling the other zombie cards doesn't really do anything until you hit the Mizuki. So that is always... I think you're adding a ton of cards that don't add something to your game plan or that don't make your deck faster.
To be fair though, I'm not entirely sure because you're milling so many cards, don't you? So at some point you're going to get to the Mizuki, and I mean, it's better than just getting random cards into the graveyard. And you rather would like just have the zombie master already in the graveyard for setup purposes or something. I don't know. It's not that easy. I think it's not that black and white.
Because, oh no, definitely not. But the thing is, the deck is incredible if you get to play.
It really is, yeah. It's so enjoyable. It's such a fun deck. Like, just starting out, already first turn, best case scenario, having like a solar recharge or a charge of the Light Brigade, and then you just, from there on, basically never look back. And that's, I think, the huge upside of the Lightsworn deck as well, right? Because there is, of course, different decks in the format with different tempos. And Lightsworn, I would say, certainly is one of the fastest of them, because you always just try to get the early start with you having a good setup with quickly mounting a lot of different Lightsworn names in the graveyard. And that can just, for example, against Gladiator Beasts or something, which sometimes need a little bit of time for setup, can just like overroll them basically, and then they just you like win on turn 3 or 4 already just because your deck is so much faster than theirs. So if you want it fast and high paced, then I think Lightsworn might be a deck for you that you should try out in 2010 format.
I mean, the biggest problem for Gladiator Beast is just a wolf in attack position.
Yeah, there you go.
That you can barely overcome, especially if it's not attacking and you don't have your prisons available to remove it.
That's true.
You know what's also fun? Summoning out a Christia.
On turn 1 even, which is very possible with this deck, and I think we may have the chance again, because our Chaos Fairy player once more has the Valhalla, and he does not only have the Valhalla, but there also is the Christia now. Oh my.
I have a playset of beautiful quarter-century Christias,
Ooh.
so I do feel that. Also Dark-Armed, I still need to get some Judgment Ranks. I want all the big boss monsters.
You are ready to play this deck as well, then. Okay. Zombie World now. Okay. That is interesting. Honestly, I gotta admit, I wasn't even aware that this card was around in 2010 already. That
Same.
must have been recently released at that point.
Yeah.
But let's see. Christia, yeah, he's still saying, okay, I mean, yeah, now the Christia is a zombie, but what does that change, really?
It's still a Christia, though, right?
It really is. And I mean, to be fair, though, Zombie World makes the Mizukis even so much better, right? Because now, all of a sudden, you can bring back any monster from the graveyard.
Yeah. As long as it's level 4 or lower.
Yes, of course. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we set a monster, another dangerous scenario here because it might be another Raikou, and Raikou dealt with the Christia so easily the previous game as well. And we are going to find out, is it another Raikou? They always have the Raikou, the Lightsworn Hunter. And we are destroying it.
Our
Go
player
ahead.
on the right side has another Christia in hand, so can
Ooh.
summon it out. If it's met by an MST on the Valhalla, I think he also has another Valhalla.
Oh, no. Oh. Look at that.
Oh.
Mystical Space Typhoon, indeed. Goodbye, Valhalla. And hello, second Valhalla, as you were just saying. And they're having so much fun with it. They're loving this. And I love it as well.
There it
And
is.
back
The
over
next
it
crystal.
goes.
We're floodgating back in 2010. Isn't that fun? Let's see. If we have a Charge of the Light Brigade here, and we can search out for another Raikou, but we know that this is only going to postpone the problem. That's a good one, though. Necro Gardener gives you the ability to stall the attacks for a turn. This deck usually typically only has one monster on the field, because that's just how Valhalla decks work.
Yeah.
And if you have a Raikou, you can protect it, pop a card, and then Celestia if you have it to go for a big push later on. So I think there might still be play for our player on the left side. There's just a little bit of luck involved if he hits the out.
That is true, but Celestia indeed is one that he would need. Oh, wow! Now we have Solar Recharge as well, discarding the Wolf, which is, when you draw it, you want to draw it together with the Solar Recharge. Drawing 2 cards now, and is there maybe something valuable? Or another Zombie World and the Monster Incarnation, so that was not valuable at all, to be honest. Setting the Raikou, and that's all she wrote there. Back over to the Chaos Fairy player. Where's the chaos all about? I mean, he's causing quite some chaos with the... Oh, we're not even... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you what's happening next in main phase 2. Oh, another Honest gone. That is another Christia on the field.
Hello. And I love it. He's enjoying it so much. Like, every single Christia he's summoning, you can tell that he just loves every bit of it. He's like, hey, I'm here, round 1 on the featured match. People will see this somewhere on the internet, so as you at home are watching this right now. And this is just like my 7th Archlord Christia that I'm summoning. Probably his favorite card of all time. Alright, okay.
Oh, yeah, and we're going for some pushes with Honest here, of course, revealing some information. However, we got rid of most of the Raikous. I don't know what's going to be able to beat over the Christia. So, yeah, we just shipped for 1,100 damage. I think at this point we could have also attacked with the Honest to speed up the process a little.
Ooh, look at that! Game over, he says, and we have the equalizer and the second game winner being the Chaos Fairy deck. I mean, if you have a double ability to bring that monster onto the field, that Archlord Christia, I mean, his whole hand was just Christias and ways to bring Christia onto the field, which was Valhalla, which was quite funny. I hope, though, in game number 3, that we might be able to actually, like, witness some of the other parts of his deck, right?
I was gonna say, in game 1 and 2, it was only Valhalla and Christia, and that's only, like, 9 cards of the deck, because, of course, Secretary searches for Valhalla. There has to be like another layer to the strategy, because otherwise you just can't play if you don't draw both of these parts together, right?
I mean, maybe he got the excuse and he ended with a 10-card deck, but looking at him side-decking there, I think that's a couple more cards in his hand. But,
We've
of
also
course...
seen Dark Lord Zerato, which is a card that we know from 2008, where people played a Dark-Armed Dragon deck, basically, that just based around summoning this card out as quickly as possible and winning the game with it.
Very
Destiny
much.
Hero, Dasher, Disc Commander was also quite cool. I think it's also very nice when we're doing this the commentary for Time Wizard that we can talk or reminisce a little bit more about the history of the game and other cards that have been popular before.
Very much.
Very sweet pick.
And I mean, now we see them side-decking for the second time in this match, but as this is the first round of the tournament, let's speak about this a little bit more, because, I mean, I was young when Time Wizard 2010 format happened. I played myself, but I gotta admit, using my side deck was not very high on my priority list. I was like, I was happy that I got a main deck together and then a couple of extra deck cards as well. But of course, the longer this format exists now, and I mean, 2010 at this point is almost 15 years ago, right? And therefore, I mean, at least April 2010 will be 15 years very, very soon. So, of course, that gives the people more and more time to not only explore the main deck strategies and the different main decks that are available or viable for this format, but also the side decks do become a little bit more exciting and a little bit more, I want to say, studied? And what would you say? What are like the main takeaways from side decking right now in the April 2010 format?
I think you need to be prepared for Frogs and Blackwing. Those are always kind of the top dogs ever since the community has gotten a lot more competitive with the 2010 Time Wizard format.
Very much.
So you have to be prepared for those. There's also machine decks that are sometimes on the rise that catch people off guard. So Cyber Dragon is also a huge card. But now people have been starting to tech in Breaker the Magical Warrior.
True.
That is something that I don't know too much about.
We go Hackatrice again. Leo, it worked so well game 1, game 2, so why not again? Another time for the Valhalla. And is there the Christia with it as well?
Do these players shuffle ever? There's also like a set monster as well, so that might be a Raikou again.
Valhalla. Is there the Christia? I don't think they have Christia this time, though. Oh, look at that! We this time see the Archlord Zerato on the field, which of course can also just be summoned out through the Valhalla. Yeah. And explain to us what that card actually does.
So you can... Basically, if you have 4 or more dark monsters with different names in the graveyard, you can tribute summon it by tributing only 1 dark monster. Oh, there's Doom Caliber Knight, one of my favorite Time Wizard cards as well. I mean, you can still play it today, but don't know if that's too great. And then you can discard a dark monster to destroy all monsters on your opponent's side of the field, but then in the end phase, Dark Lord Zerato destroys itself.
Indeed.
Also, you were saying Archlord Zerato before. That's the Ancient Sanctuary one.
Oh,
that's the,
true.
Light one. This one is the Dark Lord. Archlord and Dark Lord, which is hilarious.
And it's also quite strong in terms of attack points, bringing our Zombie Lightsworn player here down to a measly 5,200 life points there. That's a normal summon of Lila. You can barely tell because it's the ultimate rare version, but it is the Lila. And is Lila going to take care of Valhalla? No, we're trying to get rid of the set card instead.
I like that because there is a big monster already, and apparently our opponent doesn't have Christia for once. So,
ooh, deck Devastation Virus. That may as well be a card coming in from a side deck, because I saw this card being side decked a lot, as this card is just such a good answer to all the frog strategies around at the moment.
Yeah, this card, just by tributing a monster dark with 2,000 or more attack points, you can look at the hand and the field of the opposing player and destroy everything that is below 1,500 attack points. Also counts for the next 3 draws. You get to look at them and then destroy them. Now you got rid of Goblin Zombies, and he's quite happy, honestly, that Goblin Zombie doesn't trigger when it's destroyed from the hand as well.
That's 2 spell cards and a Necro Gardener, last but not least. That was a good pickup there.
How do we always mill the Necro Gardener in our first mill? That's amazing. Honestly, keeping Lila around is kind of valuable. However, I don't even think that you can put it in attack position immediately now.
Nope, you have to wait another turn. Okay, we bring out the Dark Valkyrie, and that's a Gemini monster. We don't see many Gemini's monsters anymore in 2025, but here we do have one for 2010 format. And this one is quite... You mentioned Breaker, but this one is somewhat similar to Breaker, because when you do perform the Gemini summon, the second summon of the monster, you do get a spell counter onto it, and then it gains 300 attack and defense just like the Breaker, but you can remove the spell counter to destroy a monster instead. And I think we have just normal summoned again, and now we destroy Valhalla with it. There you go, and that makes sure we can attack directly now for another 1,800 points of damage. But no, Necro Gardener will protect us there.
Oh wow, that's wild, because I was gonna say, hey, I would start to attack the Lila to see if my opponent protects, and if they do protect, then you can still pop it. If they don't protect it, then fine, you keep your counter. But he got the Necro Gardener out, so that's great. Oh, and now we have the Jane, and Jane actually also has 1,800 attack points, but gets 300 more when it goes into battle with an opponent's monster. So that's quite interesting, because now the Valkyrie has lost the attack points.
That is indeed true, and we do also know another card from the hand as we revealed everything with the deck Devastation Virus, Chaos Sorcerer. That falls victim though to the Torrential Tribute. We're basically setting everything almost to zero here. 2 cards in hand for our Zombie Lightsworn player, 1 card in hand for the Chaos Fairy player. But we know both cards in hand, of course, for the Zombie Lightsworn player, so we can just discard the other card, the Aaron we just drew, for the DDR, which can now bring back the Goblin Zombie, and that's huge.
Yep, that's 1,100 points of damage. Going to mill the top card of the deck, and that's a Caius, which would have done a little bit, actually a lot, because he has the Hecatrees in hand, so I guess you can special summon that with Valhalla and tribute it for Caius.
True,
So
that
that's
would
a
have been
very
so good.
strong mill. That's the very strong mill, because it always feels good to banish a dark monster, especially if it's a Goblin Zombie, right? So
Okay, what is he getting instead? He has the Hackatrice in hand. Hackatrice? I mean, is Hackatrice good, like, big enough to attack over Goblin Zombie? The thing is, you don't even really want to attack over Goblin Zombie, because it just gives them another zombie monster. Okay, we do bring it out, we do attack it. That is a slight bit of damage there, dealt to the life points.
I think you just have so much time when they're only attacking with the Goblin Zombie. So yeah, now you're exactly right. You're giving them the Zombie Master now that can just attack over Hecatrees. And if you get another draw, you're just going to get the Goblin Zombie back onto the field. So that's another card, though, the DDV that was just picked up. That is an interesting scenario. I think you just have so much time. You can let your opponent attack you with Goblin Zombie. They might not pick up something useful. You don't have to special summon out your Hecatrees. You're taking away, like, oh, the Wolf. It's not a bad pickup now, because you have Zombie Master in hand. You can just discard it.
That's actually true. You want to draw... You definitely desperately wanted to make sure to not have a monster with more than 1,500 or with less than 1,500 attack points, because now the Zombie Master does do the trick, discarding the Wolf, trying to bring back the Goblin Zombie that just left, I feel like. Yep, there it is again. And yeah, I feel like I'm totally with you. The Hecatrees summon there to attack over the Goblin Zombie was just like... He wasn't in a rush to do that, but he had no rush, actually. It was not needed for him to rush there at all, so... That may be a little bit preemptive, because now if he draws another Caius, that Caius would have been so good, honestly.
Yeah.
And your opponent...
Insane.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh no,
Dimensional Alchemist.
Oh yeah, we milled that one with the Goblin Zombie. I thought this was destroyed with Deck Destruction Virus, but that was on the other side. Which would have been an okay-ish pickup if you banish a... Oh, what do we have here? Is it a Christia? Is it a Christia?
Oh, he's counting. He's counting. Why is he counting? You have Valhalla on the field. Why do we need to count? Oh.
I have no idea. 1 fairy, 2 fairy.
Oh, is it Dark Arm Dragon? Maybe it's Dark Arm Dragon, though.
No, it's 4.
No.
Oh, it's multiple.
And it must be Christia. There's no way.
And I mean, of course he's counting, because when you special summon Christia with its own effect, you get to actually get back a fairy from the graveyard to your hand.
True. I almost forgot about that. So that would have been even more valuable, but now... What a card to draw there, honestly. Like, our Zombie Lightsworn player...
Goblin in defense position! No!
Our Zombie Lightsworn player must be mad that he actually, with the Goblin Zombie, helped him to get to that card from his deck there. Now we attack over the Goblin Zombie.
But that was possibly a good bait here, because you're just saying, hey, I take 1,700 damage. Do you want to take over my Goblin Zombie instead of the mystery card that I have set face down? Let me cycle through my deck and
we
find
do
some
it?
outs.
Okay. As you say, that is 1,700 points of damage.
And now you get to just search for cards that would be destroyed by a deck devastation virus otherwise. Because when
Fairly
they're added to
true.
the hand, they do not get destroyed in the draw phase.
Black Spirit Zombie. I mean, the deck devastation virus could be over at this point too. We drew Aaron, we drew Wolf, and we drew one more card that I do not. So maybe we draw one more. Do we have to reveal this? It seems like we don't have to reveal anymore. Okay.
Did we reveal the card that we said last turn? No, because
Where is that Raiko coming from?
maybe we were done before. Oh, we hit the Wolf with destroying
Wow.
the Christian. That is necessary.
Okay, we're thinking about this now. Okay, I think he's just explaining to the judge right now that he did not bother to attack the wolf. I don't know why he's explaining that to the judge, but probably the judge also just curious about it. What is that cool Christia deck that you're playing there?
Now we have the Wolf on the field. We know that Christia is going to be the next top deck, so we have to do something about that. Oh, we're going for a big damage push here, but we're hoping for another Wolf here, basically.
Oh, no Wolf though. No Wolf. I mean, we're low on life points here. Is Christia over this Card Trooper or Christia over this Raiko would be game, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why we didn't just normal summon the Plague Spreader Zombie, because then you just synchro summon them all off into a Colossal Fighter, and then Christia looks rather
measly, yeah, for
stupid.
sure. I do agree.
I think that, I mean, this game might just end because of an attack of Christia. And this is not like a top deck that is like crazy unforeseen, right?
Totally not, no. So, going down to not even that little, right? He's still like very, very healthy there. I mean, when I say very healthy, I think he's going down to 1,300 life points here, which is enough to at least get to the next turn, which he just only needs. He only needs by one more turn. He activates V Valhalla, brings out the Christia. Christia attacks V Raiko, and that's it. That's all she wrote. GG's, handshake, and we have a winner.
That's an incredible game here. Just getting the top deck that you needed because you put it on top of your deck via its own effect is a very solid strategy for the Christia Valhalla deck. That was a very cool deck to see. I never thought I was going to see Dark Valkyrie in action.
Did not expect that either, but everyone make sure this was only the first round of the entire tournament, and all the other rounds are going to be uploaded to this YouTube channel as well. So make sure to check out the other matches as well, because I think that was quite the nice introduction to the Time Wizard 2010 format and our very tournament here for YCS Birmingham. So definitely make sure to check out the others, and we will be back with more action.